Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers depth chart that has been released. My voice is getting tired because this is the fourth video I've recorded in a row, and I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes I'll get like 5 to 10 minutes into a video, feel like it's not going well or I'm starting to lose track of what I'm saying, and then I'll just scrap the entire recording and start over a new one. So I've been talking maybe for about 45 minutes to an hour straight non-stop, so let's go. I'm excited. Let's get into this depth chart. First things first, we're going to be looking at the wide receiver position. You have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin as your starting wide receivers. Then behind them, you have Justin Watson, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, and Jadon Mickens. No surprises here. I'm very curious to see who is that third wide receiver. It seems like possibly looking at this, it might be Scotty Miller or Justin Watson. I mean, it probably has to be one of those guys. I would assume that Scotty Miller is probably going to be that third wide receiver, then Justin Watson, then probably Jadon Mickens, and then finally Tyler Johnson, simply because Tyler Johnson has been dealing with a lot of nagging injuries this training camp and just this offseason as a whole. So that is what it is. Moving on to the tight end position, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard. No surprises there whatsoever. Cameron Brate, Anthony Auclair. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers should be using a lot of two tight end sets in this offense with Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich. So we're going to be seeing a lot of both Rob Gronkowski and O.J. Howard. And I think we will see a healthy amount of Cameron Brate and Anthony Auclair pretty decently sparingly. I really do feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be incorporating a lot of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, and definitely Scotty Miller. It seems like Scotty Miller especially has been building that chemistry with Tom Brady. So definitely start paying attention to Scotty Miller. And then also, hey, Jadon Mickens. You know, that man's going to be, you know, probably our number one wide receiver here somewhere down the line. We'll get to him in a little bit. Moving on to the offensive line here, you have Donovan Smith as the starting left tackle with Josh Wells as the backup left tackle, Ali Marpet as the starting left guard, Aaron Stinney as the backup left guard, Ryan Jensen as the starting center, A.Q. Shipley as the backup center, Alex Kappa as the lone right guard on the team right now, Tristan Wirfs as the starting right tackle with Joe Haeg as the backup. So really no surprises here for the starting offensive line in terms of the backups. A.Q. Shipley, I feel like, is a very solid backup offensive lineman. I feel like he can slide into the backup center role or also backup right guard if he needs to. Same thing can be said for both Joe Haeg and Aaron Stinney. And then Josh Wells is Josh Wells. But I really like the versatility that this backup offensive line has for this team. Aaron Stinney can play a handful of positions. A.Q. Shipley has been in this league a long time. I have a lot of respect for him. He can play a lot of positions, and then Joe Haeg can also play a lot of positions. He's probably the most versatile backup guy we have right now, which is why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wanted him so badly. So yeah, overall, pretty decent group of backups. Maybe you add one more offensive lineman here if you need to in the coming days. We'll have to wait and see. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are very, very close to playing. They have 6 days now, but yeah, overall, the starting offensive line, we all knew this was basically what it was going to be. Moving on to the quarterback position, you have Tom Brady as the starter, Blaine Gabbert as the backup, and Ryan Griffin as the third-string quarterback. Bruce Arians stayed true to his word. Blaine Gabbert is the backup. He is going to be the main entrenched backup behind Tom Brady, although now with Josh Rosen on the practice squad, that could change here somewhere down the line, maybe towards the end of this season, if Josh Rosen is able to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he gets snatched to another team's 53-man roster. But yeah, I love Tom Brady. He's great. The gift of Gabbert is absolutely awesome. And then Ryan Griffin, I know, has a very big fan following here in the MrBucsNation community. And you know what? I like Ryan Griffin too. I very much like this entire quarterback room. I know some people have been very critical of Blaine Gabbert and Ryan Griffin, especially the gift of Gabbert. But I like them. I think that they're fine backup quarterbacks, and Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Finally, the running back position here for the offensive side of the football. Ronald Jones is still your starting running back. LaShawn McCoy has been named the second-string running back. Leonard Fournette, the third-string running back. And then Keyshawn Vaughn, the fourth-string running back. yeah, not really any surprises here. I was not expecting Leonard Fournette to be the starter right away. I don't even know if he's going to be the starter the first half of this season. We'll have to wait and see what happens. He still has to learn this offense. Ronald Jones, I have a lot of expectations for Ronald Jones, even with the signings of LaShawn McCoy and Leonard Fournette. I still feel like Ronald Jones is going to have a good season, but with LaShawn McCoy and Leonard Fournette, that's just phenomenal insurance. LaShawn McCoy, I've been saying it all offseason since we've signed him. Keeping him fresh and making sure he is still very efficient when he does touch the football is going to be huge for his overall success with the Buccaneers. And then Leonard Fournette, I made a whole video talking about him. He's going to be an absolute beast. I think Leonard Fournette's role is going to be that of a power back to start, and then we will slowly see him start to get more and more integrated into the offense as time goes on. Finally, Keyshawn Vaughn, third-round draft pick. He still definitely has a long ways to go in terms of learning this playbook and getting more acclimated to the NFL. It's just a victim of circumstance type thing right now with the way the world is with all of the restrictions. Keyshawn Vaughn, I'm definitely going to say don't sleep on him. He could be doing some stuff this upcoming season. Moving on to the defensive side of the football, at the defensive end position, we have Ndamukong Suh and Khalil Davis, nose tackle Vita Vea, Raheem Nunez-Roche, other defensive end spot, William Golston and Patrick O'Connor. So this is actually pretty surprising to me now that I'm seeing this for the first time. Khalil Davis is listed as a defensive end, and Raheem Nunez-Roche is listed as the backup nose tackle. I thought that was actually going to be reversed, but I guess it does make sense when you do think about it. Khalil Davis is a little bit smaller than Raheem Nunez-Roche, so yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, William Golston, they were a part of that, NFL best run defense last year, and I expect them to have similar results. Khalil Davis, Raheem Nunez-Roche, and Patrick O'Connor. All three of these guys, I feel, exude a lot of good run-stopping ability with having some, flashes of pass-rushing ability as well. And much like some of the backup offensive linemen, these backup defensive linemen have a lot of versatility as well. And I feel like that is going to be very, very important to the overall success of this Todd Bowles defense, is being able to play a lot of different roles on this team, and I think it will not just lead to single player success, but overall team success as well. Moving on to the linebacking core, you have Jason Pierre-Paul as a starting outside linebacker, Devin White, Levante David as starting inside linebackers, Shaq Barrett is a starting outside linebacker, Anthony Nelson is there as a backup, Quentin Bell is there as the backup, as well as Cam Gill, and then inside linebacker Kevin Minter and Jack Sitchie. No surprises here in terms of how this depth chart was going to be listed. I love this linebacking core. It might be my personal favorite position group in the entire team right now. I love the starting lineup of Jason Pierre-Paul, Devin White, Levante David, and Shaq Barrett. That's money. That's absolutely money. That's one of the best linebacking cores in the entire NFL. And again, another big reason as to why they had the #1 run defense in the NFL last year. Shaq Barrett, big expectations for him. 19.5 sacks last year, set the franchise record, beating out Warren Sapp's record. You'll love to see that. And I'm really excited to see what Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul can do now that they're both healthy and going to be together for a full season. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. Levante David is one of the best linebackers in the NFL. We all know this. And Devin White has slowly, or not even slowly, very quickly made a name for himself as one of the best young linebackers in the NFL as well. Levante David and Devin White, I just simply feel like are going to be one of the top 5 inside linebacker duos in the entire NFL for this upcoming season. I believe that 100%. So yeah, very solid linebacker group. My probably personal favorite position group in the entire team right now, and I expect some just absolute amazing play out of these guys. Now, finally, moving on to the secondary for the defensive side of the ball, you have Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting as your 2 starting cornerbacks. Ryan Smith, Jamel Dean are there as well, and Parnell Motley is your 5th string cornerback. So, One thing I'm very interested in seeing here is that Sean Murphy-Bunting gets the start over Jamel Dean. I would imagine that Jamel Dean is that third cornerback behind Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting, and he will be an outside cornerback for certain packages, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really do like Sean Murphy-Bunting, and I totally understand why. That man has a lot of versatility, which I just talked about is very important in a Todd Bowles-esque defense. Sean Murphy-Bunting can play in the nickel, he can play outside, and do very well in both of those roles. Carlton Davis, he's that hashtag #1 cornerback, and that's what he's going to be for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this upcoming season, which I think is absolutely awesome. Jamel Dean, I'm very excited to see what he can do. If he can stay healthy, I think that he could be, has the most upside for this upcoming season for the Buccaneers and the cornerback room. Ryan Smith, he's an absolute beast at special teams. And then I definitely would not sleep on Parnell Motley. He could be doing some pretty special things in this upcoming season as well, if his training camp is any indication of what he can be. Parnell Motley is definitely somebody to keep an eye on. But yeah, overall, no surprises here. Carlton Davis, well, no surprises here besides Sean Murphy-Bunting being that #2 cornerback over Jamel Dean. But yeah, overall, pretty solid group of cornerbacks. Moving on to the safety position, Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jordan Whitehead are your starting safeties, with Mike Edwards and Andrew Adams as the backups. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a starter right away over a guy like Mike Edwards. Not surprising to me. I am a huge fan of Antoine Winfield Jr. I'm probably going to be getting a jersey of his somewhere down the line here for this upcoming season. And him and Jordan Whitehead are going to be one of the best young safety duos in the NFL right now. I know some people are going to point to inexperience, but Antoine Winfield Jr. is literally born to be an NFL defensive back. His father was phenomenal for years. If he isn't already in the Hall of Fame, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he is in the Hall of Fame already. So he's got a great pedigree to live up to, and I think he will in spades. I think he's going to be the best safety out of the bunch here for this upcoming season. He's got a ball hawking personality and nose for the ball. He can play the run, and he can certainly play the pass, and he's going to be awesome. Jordan Whitehead and Mike Edwards, I'm curious to see how these guys do. Both of them had very good camps. I would say Mike Edwards probably had a better camp than Jordan Whitehead, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But both of them are very solid starting options for the other safety position opposite Antoine Winfield Jr. And then Andrew Adams, I've been saying this for years now, he is a fringe starter. He can start a couple of games if you need him to, and I think much like Kevin Minter, he can be a very solid starting player on this defense if you need him to be. Finally, guys, looking at the special teams position, you have Bradley Pinion, the punter, Ryan Suckup, the kicker, Bradley Pinion as the kickoff duty guy. Bradley Pinion will also be the holder on field goals. Zach Trinner is the long snapper, and Jadon Mickens is the starting punt returner and kick returner. No surprises here. Bradley Pinion, the people's champ. Ryan Suckup, we all knew he was going to be the kicker after Matt Gay got released. And yeah, pretty much that's it. The big thing I'm happy about is Jadon Mickens is the starting punt and kick returner. Y'all are going to see. Y'all are going to see how good Jadon Mickens is. I'm so freaking excited to see what he is going to do. I think he's going to do wonders. Going to be really interesting to also see Antoine Winfield Jr. back there as well with Jadon Mickens. But yeah, I have a lot of high hopes for this special teams. Jadon Mickens back there. We're going to see some absolute magic in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this depth chart. Not a ton of surprises. Antoine Winfield Jr. being a starter and Sean Murphy Bunting being a starter. I could see some people being surprised at that over Mike Edwards and Jamel Dean, but it makes a lot of sense if you've been paying attention to the camps that those two guys have been having. In terms of the overall rest of the depth chart, yeah, not a ton of surprises here. LaShawn McCoy being the second string running back over Leonard Fournette isn't really surprising, given that Leonard Fournette just signed with the team. And yeah, I'm very excited to see this roster play. I think that they're going to be absolutely awesome and get a ton of wins for this team. So yeah, guys, that's it for this depth chart. Let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. Were any of these position groups surprising to you guys as to who is starting and who is the backup? Let me know, and let me know what you think about the overall roster as a whole. But guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.